You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And this is episode 6 of our off-season series.
Oh, I think you fucked up.
I think I did too. Is this 7?
It's episode 7.
Fuck me.
I knew it.
I couldn't do the whole off-season. I just thought, damn, I should have confirmed that. But, well.
Off to a rip-roaring start.
Yeah. Second time you've been able to correct me today when you've been right.
Huh? That's the last two. That's what's important. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
0 for 5 at the beginning.
Yeah, now 2 for 7. 333.
Good if you're a baseball team.
I'm a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so we are post-draft, mini-camp, pre-reality really here in the NFL. The biggest
nothing starts for another 2 months.
Yeah.
Or more.
Oh, except
just
the arrests.
Crap.
Well, we'll probably be able to talk about nothing but arrests for the next 2 months. If we wanted to.
That's true. Although Greg Hardy's trying to rehabilitate. He went and spoke to some 5th graders. That's who you want coming into class. Yeah, what happened at school today, Junior? Greg Hardy came and
told me never let the bitch bring her own camera.
Tips. Yeah, self-defense tips from Greg Hardy. I don't know what he was doing there, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's slow news time for the NFL, so.
The arrests will soon be coming fast and furious. I've seen a bunch of DUIs and that, but again, I think it's part of the collective bargaining agreement where there's very little contact or control by the teams in this period. Hence,
yeah,
the
but what
arrests.
does that mean?
Well,
yeah,
the arrests skyrocket.
Yeah, but what? No, these guys haven't been under team control since fucking end of January. They have nothing to do with the team from the end of the season to OTAs. So why it skyrockets now, I have no idea.
And at this stage, every team is going to win the Super Bowl, except for Cleveland, who have adopted this strange, we're not here this year, which everyone knew, but it's kind of refreshing to see we're building for 4 years down the road.
Oh, that's...
I don't know that they're doing it well, but... No, San Francisco
No, they're in the same boat. As long as Jed York owns that team, they're screwed. I feel sorry for them.
Oh, I give Cleveland much more hope than San Francisco.
No, Cleveland has no hope.
Did you see the piece? I saw it late tonight, where a journalist who'd covered the Niners said Jed York stiffed him with a $2,100 dinner tab.
Yeah. Yep. That's the Niners owner. He class act. Runs the best head coach out of town since Parcells. And now they're stuck with shit.
Well, and his wife and the NFL ran one of the best owners out of the league for crimes which pale in comparison to the crimes that the owner of the Cleveland Browns, for example, has been paying fines on.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's where the Browns are screwed. With the owner they have now, they're screwed. Nothing's going to change. How many coaches have they had?
Well, yeah, he said as minority owner of the Steelers, he recognized the value of stability. And I think it's been 5 coaches and 3 GMs in 7 years, roughly.
And they hired someone off Bill Simmons' podcast to run the team for a couple of years.
Lombardi.
Yeah.
But Lombardi wasn't even terrible at his job. I couldn't stand him on Bill Simmons' podcast, but we're going to return to Bill Simmons later in the show, I think.
Yeah.
So the funny thing that happened is the Tennessee Titans dumped their former first-round draft pick.
No, he wasn't first-round pick. He was sixth round.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, he was. They claimed he had first-round talent, but he got hurt his senior year in college.
Right. I'm thinking of the guy who retired.
Yeah. What's his name?
Mettenberger.
So I'm trying to think. Who was the other kid?
Jake Locker.
Oh, yeah.
So they cut Mettenberger, picked up Matt Castle, and the Chargers picked up Mettenberger on waivers yesterday, I believe.
Which I'm surprised. Like, I'm sure the Titans tried to trade him. I'm surprised they couldn't get anything for him. That was my biggest surprise. Like, I heard no news that they were thinking of releasing him through the whole offseason. I thought they might try and trade him just because I'm sure Mettenberger had no desire to stay there as a backup. Who would as a young quarterback behind Mariota? You're not taking the job away from Mariota, the second overall pick. He would have been holding the clipboard forever. So I don't know if they did him a favor sending him there, but it's like we like trading back and forth or backup
coaches because our teams combined for 7 wins last year?
Yeah, we were great.
But at least you've got Matt Castle in the house now. He's a solid team player.
Yeah.
He'll accept that backup role just fine.
Maybe they're bringing him in to kind of help Mariota, maybe like we thought Hasselbeck would do.
Again, team player.
He's useless.
No, he's not a team player. When he got demoted, he skipped a plane. The guy's a fucking grade A dick.
Where did he get demoted?
Houston.
Castle? I think you're thinking of somebody else. No, you're thinking of the fucking, what's his name? The goofball lefty from Hard Knocks. You're getting them confused. Oh, Castle was in Dallas. Holy. Now I'm 3 for 8. I'm going to be 500 here soon.
Oh yeah, you could be.
You're thinking of the big doofus from New England that went to Houston. What the fuck's his name? Kelvin Jenkins?
Yeah, it's Kelvin Jenkins. It certainly is. Wow.
No, what the fuck's his name?
What? No.
The fuck was his name?
These former New England players.
Because they had Hoyer and fucking this guy, and it was between him and Hoyer.
Yeah.
Oh, the fuck's his name? He went to Arkansas. And they drafted him like the 3rd round. And he had first round arm and 3rd round head. Oh, fuck. He wore number 15. What the fuck's his name? That'll come to me yet.
I'm completely wrong about who I was thinking of then.
Yeah, Castle went from Minnesota to Buffalo, got cut in Buffalo, signed by the Cowboys when they had all their...
Okay.
And then I'm assuming he was just a free agent and the Titans signed him. So I'm thinking he's just there to be the veteran presence, maybe to help him study, learn defenses, that type of thing, because there's no long-term strategy with Castle.
Well, no.
We didn't draft a quarterback. So I'm assuming we're just going to go with veteran backups going forward. Seeing you're
which
planning on
isn't a
Mariota
bad
being there
idea,
10 years.
right? You're counting on that, but he did only, play 13 of 16, so you do want someone who has experience. And I'm just so shattered by how far off I am here at the start.
Well, and I closed my browser because I thought, well, we're just talking about Mettenberger, the Chargers, and the Titans. Like, I don't need to have a browser open. Oh, why can't I think of his fucking name? Number 15. Oh. Because didn't he sign with Baltimore last year, too? And play the last couple of games?
Yeah, he was released from Houston. These Brady backups have become an completely indistinguishable blob for me. And I apologize, but that's just
Ryan
terrible.
Mallett.
Right.
So, okay, we got that settled. So, anyway, Mettenberger's going to see no more playing time in San Diego than he did in Tennessee. Probably less.
If history is a guide, less.
Like, he would have been better off if Cleveland took a chance on him. Or Houston, or...
Well, and I can only
guess the Chargers
assume here
must have
then
been...
that Whisenhunt liked him. Right?
Yeah,
because he was the head coach when Mettenberger started last year.
But on waivers, Chargers would have been second in line.
Yeah,
right?
but you're getting a guy on year 3 of a 4-year rookie deal. The money doesn't cost anything. If Whisenhunt thinks he has potential, why not as a developmental?
Oh, no, I don't have a problem with it because I think Mettenberger has some skills. It's just Whisenhunt I have a problem with.
Yeah, and
You
what I
brought out
recall
a
last year, I was
then.
saying I didn't think Mettenberger was that bad.
No, he's not.
So I'm not in a complete, sort of apostasy here about him, because I didn't defend him hard, but I didn't think he was terrible.
No, for the talent we had around him.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, what were the issues? Because obviously I didn't watch a whole ton of Titans games.
Accuracy.
Oh, fuck then.
He was inaccurate. Have guys open over the middle or on the side and overthrow them. A lot of interceptions from overthrown balls was his biggest problem. And he hangs on to the ball too long.
Well, he won't be doing that in San Diego because he's going to get about 1.78 seconds.
Well, that's what happened in Tennessee. And Whisenhunt was the old coordinator his rookie year when he played like 8 games because Locker was hurt. And last year he played 3. He hangs onto the ball too long and his accuracy was bad. And he's more of a gunslinger than he'll try and throw it 100 miles an hour into a small window all the time.
All right.
So
I'm not delighted by this.
Well,
but at least I'm aware of who he is now.
Yeah.
By anyone.
But most of these guys, if they thought he was that good, would they have... Well, you can't pass up Mariota, I guess, but if they thought he was that good, would you draft a quarterback? Like, they talked about him as the quarterback of the future, potentially, if they didn't re-sign Locker, and then they get Mariota. So, he wasn't in their plans anymore, and maybe it was because he's a Whisenhunt guy they didn't want him. I have no clue, because there was no talk, and I follow the Titans media guys on Twitter and reporters, and there was no talk in the offseason of him being released. I vaguely remember them talking about maybe trying to trade him before the draft, but there was nothing really going on. And then I'm scrolling through the other day, and it's like, oh, yeah, Titans released Zach Mettenberger. I'm like, well, okay. No real reaction from me. Didn't know Castle had signed until you told me before we started the podcast. That is more surprising than anything.
Completely confusing who that was.
That was more confusing than anything. But
it's both, clearly.
Well, no, but why what did he do in Dallas that makes you think he's a good backup if Mariota goes down?
Well, and who is he replaced by? In Dallas. I know they tried out their rookie for one game, but wasn't there another retread there?
Yeah, but you never go in thinking your backup's going to get you to the playoffs.
No, but you've got to think your backup will win you a game when your defense is holding teams to 10 or 13 points. It really shouldn't take much to be effective in Dallas. I know Des Bryant was out, but their running game was still effective. Is Dallas built like a fantasy team where, honestly, there's nothing there if the stars go out?
Well, most teams, if you lose an all-pro wide receiver and your starting quarterback, are going to be in serious trouble.
It's going to hurt, but they lost 8 in a row. At least.
Yeah, but that was more from quarterback play than anybody else.
Yeah, but okay, so you've got what everyone says, and I tend to agree, the best O-line in football. You have a combination of McFadden and a bunch of other guys who are actually running well. You can't throw the ball enough to put up 17 points a game?
No, they couldn't. That's why the signing Castle makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Especially when Mariota got hit a ton last year and missed 3 games. We're not anywhere near competing for anything yet.
No.
Our only hope of making the playoffs is if we somehow win the South, as shitty as it is. Yeah. That's our only hope.
It's your only hope, and I don't believe in Indy one bit. They've got a great quarterback and nothing. And Houston, I'm not convinced about the Brock Osweiler era.
No.
But I still think both of those teams are ahead of the Titans right now.
Oh, Jacksonville.
And Jacksonville may be coming up.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, you like Blake Bortles?
I like their wide receiver combos. He's only going into his 3rd year.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback. His decision making, if he corrects that, there's not a better duo of wide receivers in the NFL than the two they have. They're a nightmare.
They are.
So
Jacksonville last year was throw 3 picks in the first half and throw 4 TDs in the second, which I just don't think is sustainable.
No, but any team, all you have to do in that division is win more than you lose against your division opponents, and you got a shot. If you go 4-2 in division, you got a shot to win the division.
Yeah. And I'd have to bet on Houston at this stage. It's an early stage, but
yeah. But what's their running game look like? And the Titans signed one of their offensive linemen. So I don't know what they cut Arian Foster. Are you really going to hand it over to Alfred Blue?
No, they didn't they take Lamar Miller from Miami?
Maybe. That's not a bad pickup, but is Brock Osweiler really that great? Like comparative to
no, he's marginal like most of these guys we're talking about.
Well, exactly. So there's no favorite in the South.
No.
It's just a mash of shit.
No, I don't think we'll be throwing money at it.
Still floats back up the toilet bowl at the end after you flush. There'll be one turd still floating in the bowl, and that'll win the South.
Yeah.
But
I don't hate Mettenberger being there. I mean, who knows? Maybe holding a clipboard, which is generally the idea with Chargers backups, right? This is the first guy we've had since Whitehurst who was young when he started holding the board. Now we all know about Whitehurst, which Tennessee gave a lot of money. Yeah.
He has no mobility, really, though.
Well, yeah, and Rivers is a fucking gazelle out there.
No, but, well, he has none. Like, for a young guy, he has none. It's not like he's Tom Brady.
It's the holding the ball too long, right? Because the Chargers have no offensive line, and Rivers has, as bad as it's been for him, most of the time he's been able to disguise that by getting the ball out faster than anyone since Marino. Like, just ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And if Mettenberger can't do that,
I'm not saying you have to.
He's fucking doomed in San Diego.
Yeah, but I'm not saying Mettenberger has to run. He doesn't move in the pocket. He plants his feet. It's like he doesn't move step up, step back, to the side, move around, just in the pocket.
Oh, it's video game football.
He just steps back and throws. And if the protection breaks down, he doesn't slide up to avoid the outside guy. Or back up. There's no pocket awareness.
Has
no pocket awareness.
Great pocket awareness from Rivers. So yeah, that's the difference. Whatever. I honestly don't mind seeing a young guy in there, though. Who even knows if he'll be on the roster at the end, right?
No, it's
Kellen Clemens could hang on to it because being Phillip Rivers' backup has been the easiest $1.5 million you'll make in your life for about a dozen years now.
Mettenberger will be the backup.
I think he will be too.
Because Wisenhunt will have the same offense that he was running last year and the year before. Mettenberger's been in it for a year and a half. Learning curve won't be steep.
Here's the thing about Wisenhunt. The offense he ran in San Diego was not what he ran in Tennessee. I don't get this. When he's a head coach, suddenly it's big, long drops, sling it. When he was offensive coordinator in San Diego the first time, it was all about instant release.
No, but that's McCoy might be preaching that to him. Here's the offense I want to run.
Well, supposedly it was Wisenhunt. Like, when he arrived, Rivers, who had been dealing with Norv for the previous 6 or 7 years, said he liked Wisenhunt because they went through every throw. And Rivers dictated the offense. So maybe if Wisenhunt listens to Rivers, and it's all just quick hit, get rid of the ball, it'll work.
Yeah, but Tennessee had no offensive line.
Oh, I know, but watching what little I did it not seem like those were slow developing plays for a big arm?
No, but we had one of the top 5 tight ends in the league in Delaney Walker.
Easily top 5.
I don't know why we didn't run a similar offense to what he had in San Diego. I have no clue.
And this happened to him in Arizona, too. Like, he gets this fucking hard-on for these big, tall statues. And, maybe Rivers is the only big, tall statue that could say, fuck that. I'm tired of taking 5-step drops and getting my fucking head taken off.
Well, no, I think it's more the head coach. Because when he's just an offensive coordinator, he's still taking direction from someone. When he's running the show himself, he goes to his own philosophy. There may have been more input from McCoy than we think.
Yeah?
Because he's done it, like he had success with Kurt Warner, but they had Larry Fitzgerald, like a one receiver that you get on your team. And then you spend the next 10 years trying to find another one like him. So maybe that was just, he had those two guys that could run that offense.
Well, he had success
and make
with
it effective.
Rivers, by the way.
No, I know he did. I'm not discounting that, but I'm just saying when he was the head guy, he had Warner and Fitzgerald. He didn't have that. He didn't have a 10-year veteran at quarterback in Tennessee.
Yeah. And every other quarterback project he's taken on is flamed out.
Yeah. Because they traded for fucking, what's his name? From
Leinart?
Philly. No, from Philly.
Yeah, but didn't he have Leinart too?
Yes.
In Arizona?
Yeah. But who'd they trade? It wasn't Nick Foles, it was somebody else that was supposed to be the next hot shot that they traded for. And he did nothing in Arizona. So Wisenhunt is best, as we've discussed this before, as an old coordinator. And San Diego's offense will probably be a lot better this year, which will piss me off even more because he did nothing in Tennessee, set us back 2 years.
Yeah, it's 1 year of success in San Diego, interviews during the playoffs, and I'm still pissed about that Denver game. I stand by this. Coaches should not be interviewing when their team's alive. Fuck all this. Like, what did Casey lose for this bullshit talking to people when they were on other teams thing? They lost a fucking major draft pick. But coaches? Oh yeah. Fly around the country. Because you always brag about your 60-hour work weeks, but this week I only need 20 hours. Fuck that. You either work hard and it's required or you don't. Fuck that shit. Sorry. We still would have lost to Seattle worse than Denver did, but fuck that. We could have beaten Denver that year.
Yeah, but how long do you think he was gone with private plane? 8 hours? Does it make that big a difference?
It's what's your focus. It's what's your focus. They won't let players talk, but coaches, good. Go, we'll fly you in. We'll do all this. Fuck all that.
Yeah, but do you think at that stage of the season...
coaches can't have it both ways. They say they work 60 hours a week, but suddenly it doesn't matter that they're not there. So then why are you working 60 hours a week? At
that stage of the year, are they really implemented anything that specific?
They will tell you it is.
Well, no, but we know that's bullshit.
They're the hardest working men on the planet.
And I know, but that's all bullshit.
From 5 a.m. till 10 at night.
No, but that's the bullshit. It's bullshit.
It's one or the other. So don't tell me you work.
Well, Marlon,
don't tell me you work that hard if you don't have to.
You're smart enough to know that it's all bullshit. They try and make themselves seem more valuable to the team than they are for the next job.
Until
suddenly
they don't have to appear to work nearly as hard as they do.
No, it's all eyewash at this point.
That's what I'm saying, but it's bullshit. But why did Kansas City get penalized for this ridiculous thing? Didn't they lose a first and a third? What did they lose?
I don't know. It was steep. But New England lost their first round pick too for something that was never proven. So
yeah, Kansas City just lost as much for a ridiculous rule.
Yeah. Well, so did the Patriots. What'd they prove? They have no proof of anything. They didn't write down the fucking weights of the balls. They didn't do fuck all.
No, I don't care. Okay, so that's fine. That's a different argument entirely.
No, I'm saying the NFL is a stupid league.
Yes. That's our conclusion. On that, we will agree. On that, we will agree.
That what happened to Kansas City is bullshit because every other team does it. And they use Kansas City as an example to try and make some point. I think Goodell was feeling a little impotent through the whole Brady thing. So he wanted to fucking lay the hammer down on somebody. Because he felt like his power was being taken away. Well, here's where I can hit him. Because the owners can't say anything. Because they're paying me. There's tampering goes on all the fucking time.
Oh, I know. Beyond all the time. But part of this was what they wanted to do was make free agency day a media event, right? And if players who had worked for a guy before and liked working for that guy said, my contract's up, I want to come work for you, why don't we talk about a price? Which would seem a reasonable thing in any other facet of society.
Yeah, none of the talking before is going to change anything.
Like, everyone's up in arms quite justifiably about the New England sanctions and all of this. That's not wrong. Everyone's up in arms. Barely a fucking word has been whispered about the equally, in fact, I believe, more severe penalty put on KC for something that is even more ludicrous.
No, I know, but it's the owners are never going to do and say anything to hurt the brand. So that's why you're not going to hear a peep out of them. Did you hear a peep out of them when the fucking Cowboys and Redskins got hammered?
Oh,
non-salary cap, salary cap?
Yeah, the
owners
secret
didn't say a
salary,
thing.
the double secret probation salary cap year.
Remember when Jerry Jones said they'd fight it and then it just went away? It's just about protecting the brand, dude. It has nothing to do with anything.
And they got the NFLPA to once again roll over because they did try to approach this, which I said at the time was absolute goddamn collusion, and it was. Sorry. I'm still sensitive about this Matt Castle thing, so. But no, I was completely right. It was fucking collusion. And should have been flagrantly illegal, but somehow the NFLPA signed away the right to approach this. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent.
No, that's fine. But it's just, they don't...
But I do think what happened to KC is every bit as egregious as what's happened to New England and Brady.
Yeah.
What it doesn't have is a star.
Dude, it doesn't matter. They don't give most, I would say 70 to 80% of the owners know they don't have a fucking shot going in and don't care. Because their investment's gone up tenfold. That's all it's about. We care about the games. We care about what happens and if our teams win or lose. It's a business and they don't give a fuck. It's
they don't give a fuck.
The spreadsheets and fucking pencil pushers are more valuable to them than players and rules. And is the stadium full? Yes. Are the ratings going up? Yes. The NFL is no different than any Fortune 500 company that just goes by quarterly reports. They just, that's all they care about. Are we moving the needle to upwards in terms of franchise value and TV deals? And the answer to both is yes. So they're not going to say a fucking thing.
Yeah.
We're getting away with it. They have to have some sort of preponderance of legitimacy in their dealings so the government stays out of their fucking business. And other than that, they could give
the collusion in the salary cap year. Should have been the government getting in their business.
Well, they did it in baseball, but apparently football's untouchable. So,
well, the union signed it away.
I know.
How can you argue that? That was an agreed upon term. Like, I'm not even saying they were wrong,
but that's not.
But why in God's name this union signed away the right to approach them for that?
The NFL knows their constituents and the players.
Okay,
they know the players. Here's the thing: DeMaurice Smith will get the shit for signing off on that deal. But the only reason he signed off on that deal is because the majority of his fucking clients or union were broke.
Yeah. Okay.
And the NFL knows it.
Okay, this is taking this in a different direction. And I agree with you there.
The owners know.
Do you think
the players are broke? So,
do you think part of this, that Dallas, Washington, could be linked to the fact that now Jerry Jones is becoming the big dick in the side of the commissioner. The whole LA deal, if you read that ESPN place, is Jerry Jones supporting St. Louis over the Chargers, which they thought was a sewn-in old boy deal that would all go well. And now Jones is like supporting the Vegas thing. Is this kind of you fuck me, I'll fuck you, I'll show you where the real power is?
No, I think Goodell burnt the bridges with the two other guys he had in his corner, with Biscotti and Kraft. So Jones took that opportunity to slide in as a power broker.
Okay.
I don't think it's payback for any collusion. I think Goodell needs allies, and Jones took advantage of it.
But he didn't ally himself with Goodell. He opposed Goodell's plan.
Well, Goodell wanted San Diego in L.A.?
Yeah. That was an old room deal. And it was Jones who came in and actually shot in the face of Disney and all of this, which were carefully brokered deals by Goodell. And now he's coming out going, oh, we'd love the idea of Vegas, which is flying in the face of everything Goodell has done.
But Vegas would be ridiculous if they got a franchise.
I think it would be great.
Well, the values would go up again.
The values, well, and plus it's forcing the issue, which we've screamed about being on a gambling podcast here, that the NFL benefits from gambling but likes to pretend that it's pure and clean.
If Jones... Well, the Raiders will move to L.A. Mark Davis will do just like his dad did.
He'll move to Vegas.
He'll just move.
You? Fuck you, Goodell.
No, he'll just move, and then we'll fight it out in court after the fact.
Yeah, and especially if Jones, who also was breaking their sponsorship deals, 20 years ago. I mean, I'm starting. That was just a thought. It's not fully formulated, but I do think, and I'm looking for a reason where Jones, after being a pretty good soldier for about 10 or 12 years, why suddenly he wants to punch Goodell in the face.
Well, is he pissed off because he had to pay for that stadium in Dallas by himself?
No, I don't think so, because he owns it. He's smart enough to know that...
No, I know, but he put up the money himself.
Yeah.
No, but the NFL's throwing money to these other teams now. Oh, San Diego gets $300 million. We'll give this to that team to stay.
Oh, that could be part of it too, yeah. Whereas,
none of that money
he was the maverick because they wanted everyone to beg the taxpayer to pay for it. And he didn't do that. He didn't move it. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys aren't really in Dallas and haven't been for a while.
No.
But nevertheless, that was his money. Anyway.
Maybe he's just sick of Goodell trying to undermine him.
I think it might be. I mean, he's not a good GM. Who knows? Maybe he's eyeing that for his drunken. God, he'd be a great commissioner.
No, he's not taking that job.
Oh, I know. It'd be so funny if he did, though. Sorry. Just having happy moments here.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, and I think we agree that billionaires should pay for their own fucking stadiums.
Yep. Oh, Bill Simmons. That was probably the worst promo commercial I've ever seen for a new show on HBO. Want to know what I believe? It was terrible.
Well, he was trying to do the Bull Durham speech, right?
I know. No. Oh, Any Given Sunday. I think they said because it shows Any Given Wednesday.
Oh, no, it's Bull Durham. It's like, I believe...
Oh, yeah, that's the... Yeah, the Crash Davis.
Yeah, the Crash Davis, best baseball movie I've ever seen. And one of the lines which he was ripped for before Costner, who delivered it, was, I believe, Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, blah, blah, blah. That's the speech, and it's a great speech, and that promo wasn't great.
No. And to put the swear in at the end, like, ooh, it's edgy.
I'm on HBO now.
Yeah, I can swear.
Now, by the way, I'm a big Bill Simmons fan.
I am too, not as much as I used to be.
Well,
because when he started Grantland, he doesn't write. When he started Grantland, he quit writing. He did his football column on Fridays, which I still enjoyed, but I knew who he was his writing, which was different than anything anybody had done in sports with the pop culture and all that to it. But now
it's lame and old, by the way. But
well, it's not if he still wrote it. It would be lame and old.
I'm talking about the criticism of it.
I know.
His references are old. Well, he is old.
Yeah, he's
not everyone has to make pop culture references to your generation.
And he's not writing. He's not going to watch fucking Marvel movies and make references to them. But he could do Game of Thrones references, or like those articles he used to write. Here's the NBA playoffs as
the House Targaryen versus, Starks. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's what kind of stuff he would do.
I blame Kornheiser. Kornheiser used to write like 4,000 words a day. And I heard on a podcast once with Simmons that he told him, one of these days it's just going to dry up and you won't be able to write it all. And I think he put it in his head. And now Simmons just can't write anymore.
No, he takes on too much stuff. He wanted to be a bigger entity than he was as a writer. So that got him on, because back he used to write, I don't want to do TV, I don't want to do this. Then he was on the NBA show on ESPN for a couple of years. Now he's doing the HBO thing. He's got The Ringer, which, has he written anything for that?
Not that I've seen, and I get the newsletters, but what he did do is hire virtually every goddamn writer from Grantland, which is not a bad move, by the way. I loved Grantland.
Yeah, no, that was a good site.
Great goddamn site, and I miss it every day when I run out of shit to read that's actually interesting. The only guy he didn't get because ESPN held on to his contract, most of them were released instantly when Grantland folded, was Bill Barnwell, who I just see sitting there getting skinnier and skinnier because he lost like 150 pounds.
So
he did. There's a long article about how he did it, but he's one of my favorite football writers. Well, he just stopped ordering in when he watched football. It's really the short answer. But Barnwell, I think, is probably my favorite football writer going. And he's still trapped at ESPN. And I can feel his anger and bitterness coming through, where he has to explain the simplest things about his writing to the mass market of ESPN.
Yeah.
Like even just Pythagorean wins, right? Like, based on score differential.
Yeah.
He has to spend a paragraph and he has to use words that don't involve Pythagorean. It's just terrible. But every other writer has been hired. Like Robert Mays was hired by Peter King, was there for a month, and then Simmons hired him back. So good for him.
What are they,
like, I think he's
what are they doing with the
try
ringer?
to recreate. Well, he's trying to recreate Grantland. It's going to be Grantland Part 2.
No, I know.
ESPN editorial. But
if his TV presence is no better than on ESPN, I don't know how the TV show is going to work. I would think they need to take it more along the lines of 30 for 30, which he created or helped create.
Yeah, and I think he was a big part of creating that.
No, he was, but he needs to go more in that direction, where there's no language barriers and you can tackle the tougher stories and not be the PG version.
Yeah. Well, the promo looks like, though, what he wants to be is Rich Eisen, and even that's failing. And Bill Simmons is many things, but he's not Rich Eisen, who is the smoothest fucking cat out there, right?
No, but he'd be better suited then to do like a PTI type show, and maybe that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Rapid fire. Because he was good. I liked him on PTI. That seemed to be suit his.
But you need a second guy, and one of the many raps on Bill Simmons is that his ego won't allow a good second, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. This does not fill me with confidence about his TV show.
No.
Though his podcasts that he's been running are, for the most part, excellent.
Yes. No, I like his podcasts. I still have to listen to Craig Kilborn.
I miss his writing, but... And you said, before we started recording today, that why doesn't he try to find that vibe? Each show, sit down with one guy. Like he's had in Chuck Klosterman about 4 times since he's been doing these, and they're always engaging conversations. Yeah. But that's what they are. They're conversations. I don't know television is the right medium, or maybe they're just not ready for that concept of a loose conversation. Do a Charlie Rose style thing.
Yeah.
Sit 2 guys down at a table in an empty room, right? Where all you've got is the table and 3 guys talking. As I used to say, Charlie Rose was radio on television. And it worked. But if he's going to try to do this variety thing with hot takes and him being something, it's doomed to fail. It's not going to go well.
No, I don't think so either. I just don't. I have no idea how it's formatted though. Right now, by the commercial, it gives you no indication of what he's going to do with it.
The commercial, which I haven't watched in its entirety, I've seen clips getting ripped apart, and I can't even defend it. When they rip it apart, like it looks as bad as people are saying it is. But it looks like the old promos for talk radio, like a Jim Rome back in the early 90s.
Yeah. Well, even Rome's TV shows are bad. Rome's TV shows have been bad.
They've never been good. Not one of them has ever been good.
No.
But Rome, in the early and mid-90s, up through 2000... that was good radio before there was podcasts, right? Before there was anything else like it. I really enjoyed his show. I was a huge fan, to be honest.
See, but the problem in sports is anybody that he'd want on can't speak their mind because they work for somebody else.
Yeah. Well,
you always got to... Like,
so then you take people outside. Bill Simmons has enough friends outside now. Like, Chuck Klosterman is just an example. He's a writer.
No, I know, but sports guys, you're not going to get anybody that's of interest on his show talking sports outside of a handful of guys he's done podcasts with that aren't tied to something sports related that would be able to talk intelligently and for an extended period of time on TV. So my guess is it's going to be mostly ringer guys and girls or women on that show of his. And they'll do production pieces and
the production pieces are the worst. Like, that's just a throwaway of money.
Is he going to do it like Real Sports, kind of? A Gumbel show? Is it going to be that?
That's the goal here, really. But then why are they replicating their own product?
But that's what I don't know what his show is going to be. From that promo, it's like, I believe the 2003 ALCS was an act of God. What the fuck does that tell me about what you're going to do?
And who's this God fella?
And doesn't it start in June? Doesn't the show start in June? Are we getting it in Canada?
I don't know, but...
I'm going to say no.
See, like, my opinion as a huge fan is write more. Write once. You know what? I'll take it every 2 weeks. Give me 6,000 words. People will get pissy with you about it, but...
No, I think it got in his head more, not what Kornheiser said, but the fucking blogosphere. Reddit, Deadspin, and those things ripping his writing apart. I think that's why he quit writing.
Yeah, but that's part of it. If you listen to those idiots, and by the way, one of the guys who rips him constantly, Drew McGarry, is the new Bill Simmons, if no one's noticed. And I'm pretty sure McGarry hasn't noticed. I love Drew McGarry's writing. He often makes me crack up, and he's a huge Bob Mould fan. So how can I dislike him?
No, but Marlon, if he's a good writer, why are you trying to further your own brand by ripping somebody else that's successful?
Because in this case, I get the impression it's because Deadspin / Gawker Media, which set themselves up as the opposition.
No, right. But then it's just clickbait.
Oh yeah, it's all clickbait. Just becomes, I mean,
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so, you're gonna rip a guy who's successful to make yourself look better?
Yeah,
that doesn't show me a great journalist. That shows me somebody that is scared he can't do it on his own.
No, and in this case it doesn't. But he's the only one of all those Deadspin hacks who actually could stand on his own.
They don't even write at Deadspin anymore. Deadspin, you used to go get long-form articles. Remember when Sandusky got caught at Penn State?
Sandusky, the Chargers quack piece was a serious goddamn piece of journalism. Like that quack doctor that I've been raving about TMZ. For years. They're just terrible now.
They're TMZ. Paragraph description of a video.
But they want to attack their betters, I guess. And yes, I mean, by no means is Simmons a paragon of what things should be, but he was good.
Yeah.
And his podcasts are still good. Like, when we're talking about how bad this thing is I don't want it to be lost that I look forward to when he posts another fucking podcast. I really do.
TV's not his medium. He should have stuck, even if he did webisodes for HBO.
I think HBO didn't know. No one had a plan when they signed him for all the money. And I don't even blame him, because if they come up with the money and say, oh, we're going to do this, this, this.
No, he had a plan.
Do you think
he pitched HBO? Yes, he pitched HBO. They didn't just go back up the truck and dump off money and say, we want you. I'm sure he pitched what he wanted to do. And HBO was just starting the Go app. So they wanted to get more of a web presence, so that's why they brought him along. So you'll be able to access the Ringer, I'm guessing. We'll start doing video podcasts once it actually launches, because I think it launches the same time as his TV show. So the Ringer will start doing video podcasts and little short 10-minute segments of clips, news, whatever. HBO's going for web presence now. Because where's the money right now? It's in streaming media. That's the revenue stream they don't have.
Yeah,
so they're trying to cut into Netflix. There's a reason they launched it, HBO Go. They wanted to get the streaming, the guys that aren't paying for cable.
Yeah.
So Simmons is another avenue to try and attract millennials.
He's the wrong age for millennials.
But
he honestly was way too long form for millennials to begin with.
No, I'm saying now, though, what he's doing, what they want him to do now is bring web traffic and streaming traffic. And he was a big enough name and an internet personality who had most of his fame just through the internet.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if you're hated or loved. Like, I think he's good, and
No, he's still, Marlon, he's dead spin aside, and you're going to get the dicks that anybody that's successful they're going to hate on.
Oh, yeah.
Pick it apart. It doesn't even matter anymore.
No, and now, like...
I bet you Tom Brady gets as much fucking hate on social media.
Well, again, just taking a contrary position has become a strategy. I mean, a guy from the Washington Post said that Uncharted 4 was a terrible game.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot.
Exactly, but he got a lot more clicks by saying that instead of being one of everyone else who says, holy fuck, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Right? And that's become the new world, which makes this... Ultimately, you know, if you're going to play with this game, it becomes utterly irrelevant if all you want is outrage. And that seems to be the world. You'll become outraged about everything.
I guess I'm too old.
We really are.
Because I can't understand the people that take the time to go post on message boards.
No, I really can't.
If I don't like something,
forums,
I don't...
Yes, occasionally, when it's a discussion. Like, I was reading...
I don't even post to forums
today, just because, okay, can this work?
Like, yeah, but do you post?
No, never.
No, that's what I'm saying. These people go even... I know if I need to look something up, somebody's experienced it already and I can find it. What always amazes me is that somebody took the time, and not just one person, thousands of people on the same topic have taken the time to post something on the internet.
Well, yeah, and it's all just screeching hatred, though.
No, I'm talking like helpful stuff.
Yeah.
Forums.
No, that's awesome of them.
Like I had to fix something on my car. Somebody put up a 6-minute video that saved me $1,000. I myself, if I figured it out, wouldn't take the time to post the video. I would have just fixed it myself and been done.
Yeah,
you know
okay,
I mean?
So you're looking at the positive end of this.
Right.
And
but I don't
just
understand
the negative end.
I see both, but I just don't understand the people that put stuff up to help other people with the time it takes to post this stuff. Like I get recipes for barbecue sauce online. I wouldn't take the time to put anything up.
Yeah.
Even if I find a tip online that I use and is helpful, I don't click a like or a fucking bump up or fuck all. I just find what I need and I go away. So I don't understand the constant people in forums, political, sports, news, whatever forum is created. Reddit, for example. Who the fuck spends all day on a website posting their opinion? That's what Reddit is. Who has the time? I don't give a fuck about anything enough to post. So I don't understand the people that do, that are that mad that they take to their keyboard so somebody can read their opinion. My opinion's not that fucking valuable, and neither is anybody else's.
But, okay, I'm just going to say, the people who post healthful stuff, I can see a value in that.
I see, Marlon, honest, I do.
You know, it's, all right, I figured out this great trick. I'm just going to throw it out there in the world to help other people out. That's an awesome human impulse.
It is,
and
but I don't understand the taking of the time. The taking of the time.
Because they're being decent people. That is actually an act of decency. General, collective human decency. Try to help out someone who went through it. So that's one category of behavior. The other category of behavior is to become outraged and to spew hate upon whatever does not fit your wildly narrow worldview. I mean, maybe this is the war we're in now between impulse and bullying.
No, the war is over, dude. It's lost.
Yeah.
It's lost. Any social media or anything that started as to be an enjoyable community just turns to a bucket full of hate.
Human tribalism at its worst.
It's just anonymity and hate.
Well, we saw it early with, you know, what are some of the early examples you've seen? Like
Simmons.
I'm thinking an early example was just Microsoft, Apple. That's where people just wanted to scream and became idiots. Like you had to choose a side, which
I hate Apple.
Absurd to me.
I hate Apple,
and
just
I hate
their
Microsoft.
Business practices. I hate Apple for their business practices. Nothing besides that.
But suddenly this became a tribal war.
I know, but
I use both systems.
Who takes the time to post their hate? That's what I'm getting at. Who takes one way or the other, good or bad, hate or helpful? Who takes the time?
Well, I'd like to encourage the helpful because I benefit from it virtually every day.
I do too. I'm amazed that people take
helpful people
hours out of their days.
Fantastic human beings. And often, it's not even hours. It's just like, suddenly they end up on a forum. And this used to be enthusiasts, who only did it. But now, on almost any subject, it's like, there is a hidden screw back here. Because you can't figure out how to take off this faceplate. And it'll just go, move this plastic aside, and then there's a little screw, and you can take the faceplate off and fix it.
Yeah.
Those people are angels.
But there'll be somebody in the comments below saying, you're a fucking idiot, and you don't know shit, and fuck off and die, and that's what I don't. Who takes the time? Well, like I said, I find something helpful online. I don't give it a like, forward, a fucking dick.
Well, yeah, we're lurkers because we're old. But there's a book that I believe touches on some of these subjects, which I haven't read yet, which I'm about to. Maybe we can discuss it in the upcoming vacuous NFL landscape. It's John Ronson's So You've Been Publicly Shamed. And in it, he tries to discuss this sort of mass mind tribalism to hurt other people and feel righteous at the same time.
Well, yeah, but going back to Simmons, that's what they're doing to him to make money.
Yeah.
It's essentially character assassination, and they're profiting from it.
Yeah. Well,
that's what bugs me about McGarry, is that he's doing that to uplift his own brand instead of letting his writing do the talking.
I think he's doing it because a big part of his paycheck is from Deadspin, which demands that he does it.
Well, isn't it... Didn't he also almost get hired by Grantland?
Possibly too.
I believe
he is an excellent writer, though. By the way,
I'm not, but he loses me by doing that. Simmons didn't get famous for ripping down other writers.
Yeah, but by the way, if you go back in literature, they all did that to each other. Hemingway shat on Fitzgerald. They all pissed on Henry Miller. This isn't something new with the internet.
No, but to this degree?
It just wasn't that instant. Like, that's the technology in there. But Hemingway fucking loathed Fitzgerald and called him a buffoon and a moron.
Yeah, and did he profit from it?
And then he punched him out.
Yeah, but did he profit?
Yeah, he did, because it was an argument about who was the writer of the 20s.
Right.
The arguments were exactly the same. Yeah, because he sold more and he was the He-Man.
No, but it doesn't... in that day and age, he didn't profit from it like McGarry is now. McGarry's making a name for himself for fucking shitting on Simmons.
That's
everything
not
Simmons does.
Entirely what McGarry is making a name for. He makes his name by his writing. I stand by McGarry. I stand by Simmons. I think they're both fucking pretty kick-ass.
Yes, but why does he have to resort to that then? That's the thing.
But they always have, and they always have done. This isn't an internet thing, Boyd.
Oh,
look at what Norman Mailer said about his competitors.
People didn't listen to these guys in the 20s and fucking get a paycheck for saying it.
Yeah, actually, they did. They were called literature critics who said that Fitzgerald was a flowery romantic and Hemingway was a real man.
They got a paycheck
100 years later now. 100 years later, they're both fucking great writers.
They got the literary crit. I'm talking about the authors. Their paycheck didn't increase because they favored one writer over the other. McGarry's making a majority of his pay from shitting on Simmons.
I disagree. He's making a majority of a pay on writing a
twice weekly Thursday mailbag. He writes the fun bag on Thursday.
Yeah, which is a direct Simmons ripoff. And he writes an NFL column, and he writes for GQ, which are excellent columns.
But do you know why they hire these guys now? Clicks. He got clicks on Deadspin.
McGarry's
that's
good,
all they
man.
hire guys on.
McGarry's
but
good.
Marlon,
you're doing exactly what you're railing against.
He got noticed for the Simmons shit, got him more hits than anything. And anything in media now, they look at Instagram followers, how many likes a post gets, how many clicks an article will get. They don't give a fuck what the content is. Okay. If you have a following, you get hired.
But the fact is he writes good shit. Is it derivative of Simmons? Yes.
No, but he's shitting on the guy he's copying. That's
occasionally
my problem.
He shits on that, and that's what your editor assigns you to do. That's how it works.
Everything Simmons puts out, Deadspin fucking critiques.
And they put their best writer on it to critique it. I don't blame the writer for that. Because he actually is a writer. What I blame is just the attacks that it can't be done and done well. All right, buddy. We've gone over an hour with 0 topics.
Well, I knew we'd fragment.
Well, I did learn that Matt Castle is not Ryan Mallett. You see, So it was educational.
And you learned it was episode 7, not episode 6?
Yes, all right. So I'm learning stuff constantly.
Oh, and on the book front, I have it that just came out, I think, today. Do you know the comedian Doug Stanhope?
No, I do not.
Okay. He's got a book out. and I'm going to read it, and I would recommend you read it, because I heard him tell the story on a radio show a couple of years ago, once the statute of limitations ran out. It's called Digging Up Mother, and it's all about his mom, but this book starts with him describing how he helped her commit suicide.
Oh, sweet.
No, it's a funny book.
No. I think that I assume the subject matter is it wasn't suicide because she was glum.
No, it was health related. But they did it in a way that
I've known a few people who have done this, so
he's not. They did it in a way so that they couldn't get charged, but they turned it into a party. He roasted his mother, not literally. But
given the subject matter, that's a real question.
Her to his house. They drank White Russians. He roasted her, told some jokes. They watched Bad Santa, and then she took 90 morphine pills and went to sleep. That's how the book starts, and then the rest of it is his life growing up and all this stuff. But he's a fantastic comedian. If anybody's ever listened to him, you'll know. But he's a drunk and a smoker and a drug user, and his girlfriend's bipolar, schizophrenic, associative, or some fucking thing. And her name's Bingo. He's got a great podcast too. So if anybody wants to check him out,
name the podcast and name the writer in the book again here.
Just Doug Stanhope. Just Google, or if you search for him in your podcast feed, he'll come up. I think it's just the Doug Stanhope podcast. Here's what got me listening to his podcast. You've heard of Bert Kreischer? Another comedian? Okay, I've listened to some of his stuff and follow him on Twitter. I've read his book. He's the one the Van Wilder movie was based on.
Okay.
It's Bert Kreischer. So, following him on Twitter, he was at Stanhope lives in Bisbee, Arizona. It's this shithole place about 8 miles from the Mexican border in the middle of nowhere. So he goes to Stanhope's place to record a podcast and party. They're both drunks. To party for a weekend. Bingo drives him to the airport and says she's leaving and not coming back. There's another guy she's in love with, and she's got to figure out, and this and that. So I started listening. Stanhope had a podcast with the other dude she was in love with for 2 days. They were going to do a podcast every day till they heard from her, because she left without her cell phone or anything. So they couldn't even get in contact with her, didn't know where she was going or anything. So she phoned in on day 2 of the podcast, and these two are just talking about her and they called him Wash Tub Willie. It's a 2-part podcast. Go look it up. It's fantastic. So, but that's just my plot. That's the next book I'm going to read.
Okay.
So, all right. If you want to check out our podcast, listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at offensivelines or facebook.com/offensivelines. Oh, forgot our own Twitter handles, at @OLinesMarlon or at @OLinesBoyd. On our at Offensive Lines Twitter, you get any updates to our blog posts or when a podcast is available, facebook.com/offensivelines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. See, I can fuck up too. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And that was episode 7 of our off-season series.
Fuck Drew McGarry.
Generous fucking gambler.